Fiat money breeds war. Bitcoin monetizes peace and love. And I explain why that is, because it's unconfiscatable. So no matter how much coercion you attempt or violence, you cannot get my Bitcoin. So you have to come at me with something different. You have to come at me with something that I want in exchange for my Bitcoin in a peaceful way. Violence and war are demonetized by Bitcoin.
Here's a quick excerpt from Max Kaiser. Before we get started, go ahead and check us out at Bitcoin Bros 26 on our Twitter. Also, our link tree, you can check out everything Bitcoin Bros. Roundtable, Patreon, our official Bitcoin Bros 101.com website. We have e-learning books here for you and crash courses, all our socials. Once again, check us out at Bitcoin Bros 101. Getting straight into it, taking a look at MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy has made a brief rally over the past 24 hours. A lot of people are getting excited. The sentiment is changing. As you see, from August to present day, we've made a move from low almost 100, wicking down and retested 100, all the way back up 44%. Now, mind you, it had a stock split, so this is really $1,000 per share, and then rally back up to $150 at the current time it's recording, almost 1,500. This is definitely getting back above the bull market support band, so sentiment is changing. Rickus is weighing in on Bitcoin, and you see from September of 2023. And look at this pattern. We've been in this upwards channel. This is Bitcoin versus the US dollar. And this pattern is rinsing and repeating. And we had an oversold territory. Now we're back down to where we started. So from the bottom around 25,000, this ran all the way up to 73, 74,000 before it cooled off. And look, we just reset. So 73, 74, this is about a 3x. If we do that from where we are right now, that'll take us up to an astronomical number. How high? Look at the Bitcoin price chart. The question is, if we come up and touch this upper bound, Rick has had this upper bound being touched here and also here. If we come up and touch this, how soon will we do that? If we come up by January 1 of 2025, this will take us up to about 150 to 160,000. So the longer it takes, you see, the more massive this parabolic move could be. Now, keep in mind quite a few things. If we go towards the end of the year, 2026, which will take us up to almost a $400,000 Bitcoin. Now, look at this technical target from this inverse cup and handle pattern or this inverse head and shoulders, whatever you want to draw, this is the neckline right here. This is the technical target up to about 310,000. If we move this to the right, when could we hit this? This would take us to this level around September of 2025. So there's a lot of people calling for a blow off top in Q1 of next year. So is that going to be what's in the cards? You got to be patient, but the longer it takes, the higher the price will go. Willie Woo's doing some math for you. Back of the envelope calculation, how much capital needs to go into Bitcoin in order for it to hit $1 million? The answer is 5 trillion, or about 1% of the global wealth assets. In hindsight, this is not a lot of money. The overall crypto market capitalization has about a little over 2 trillion, could be 2.2, 2.3. Don't quote me on that without looking. 620 billion is invested. We're still early. An update from El Crypto Prof. Look at the pandemic crash of 2020, and then look at the Japan stock market crash of 2024. It almost looks identical. You got these expanding, broadening wedges. These are textbook patterns. When you go into these patterns in a bullish fashion and you have these expanding, broadening wedges, this is bullish. You have a continuation to the upside. That's exactly what Bitcoin did in 2020. Rinse, repeat. We're doing the same thing in 2024. Get ready to buckle your seatbelts up because a blast off could be coming. Another update from Rickus. Look at these influences. You don't want to miss out on the next moves that are coming. Look back in 2013 to 2018. You see this peak, and then you see this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 extension, and then a rally to the upside. Then a bear market, the peak of 2021 for Bitcoin, another peak, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So where are we at right now? We are equivalently here where we were back in early 2017. The price of Bitcoin was less than $1,000. It was below $1,000. Then ramped to 20K before experiencing a bear market and having the continuation to a higher level. Will we see another bear market after this peak? People are saying Bitcoin to $1 million. Don't FOMO and don't follow the herd. So we have an expert talking about where Bitcoin's going and what they see. Cathie Wood is going to weigh in on what she thinks. Let's hear what Cathie has to say.
So we are in print. Our base case is 650,000, but that base case was set before the SEC approved the Bitcoin ETFs. And so we are more convinced now that our bull case of 1.5 million by 2030 is the more likely case.
Do you think Bitcoin is currently a singularity, or do you think it will be that in the future, and when will that be?
So when you say singularity as it relates to Bitcoin, what do you mean?
Like you can't contain it at a certain point.
Oh, I think we've passed escape velocity. There's no way to shut Bitcoin down. And China tried, and all the activity that was in China just migrated. There's no oversight. There's no throat to choke, and it has proliferated to such an extent and is serving a really important role, especially in emerging markets, where people, of various countries, if their leaders either don't understand economics or there's corruption, and they lose purchasing power and wealth, to the tune of 50% in a very short period of time. Even this year, Egypt, I think it was the beginning of March, devalued the Egyptian pound by 40%. And so having an insurance policy like Bitcoin is really important in emerging markets.
So the bear case for Bitcoin isn't even that it could just go nowhere, but that it will 20x in 5 years.
I mean, you've seen the corrections are violent because it is so early and so young. The corrections used to be 95%. Now they're more like 75%. That's a lot. So I don't want anyone to think that it's straight up and to the right, because the corrections are pretty violent. They're getting less so. And I think as Bitcoin moves more into mainstream investing, the volatility will go down dramatically. So it's not like we're saying it won't go down. It will. It's a new asset class. And there are a lot of, I would say, weak holders. They get in because of FOMO, so fear of missing out. And then they lose 20% and then they get out. They cut their losses. So that exacerbates moves down. So Bitcoin is backed by the largest computer network in the world, and therefore it is the safest cryptocurrency or crypto asset out there. It has not been hacked. The base layer has not been hacked. I don't think any other crypto asset can say that. So, this is like a giant neighborhood watch. You've got a lot of people whose livelihoods have been built on Bitcoin, starting with the miners in the Bitcoin ecosystem, and they are all watching to make sure that this ecosystem is as robust and hack-proof as possible.
Now,